Amanda here from createyourfuture.co. So today I have Anna joining me. Hi, Anna.
Hi, Amanda. Hi, everyone.
Hey guys, as you know, Anna is a coach here at Create Your Future, and today we're bringing you guys an exciting video about how to remove the third party. So we're going to talk about living in the end and using the law of assumption. So just before we dive into all this great information, if you are looking for any personal one-on-one help, Anna's definitely available for coaching. The link's in the description, as well as if you would like to ask me, Amanda, a question, you can definitely ask me and post it on the Patreon. I do answer those questions anonymously once a month during the YouTube live, and it's also streamed on TikTok. And yeah, guys, we're having a contest. We get to 100,000 subscribers. We are giving away 3 free coaching sessions with a coach of your choice. And all you need to do to enter is to share our videos, subscribe, and comment what you've manifested using the law of attraction. No matter how big or how small, let's share what we've actually manifested so we give hope and inspiration to others. So yeah, let's dive in. Welcome, Anna. I'm excited.
Thank you. Me too. So today we're talking about how to get rid of a third party, especially. We usually talk a lot about how to manifest things in, but sometimes we want to get rid of things and sometimes people. And one of those people is the third party, usually, that tends to be an issue, but it's not an issue. So let's go back to the basics of manifestation. I really like to do it simple. So the way you manifest in the most simple terms is by giving something attention. You manifest through your mind and through your imagination. And the more you think about something or think from a state, the closer you are getting yourself to receiving that. So you give attention to receive. And to get rid of something, you do the opposite. You remove your attention from it. Usually when there's a third party involved, we tend to worry a lot and think a lot about the third party. That becomes a problem because you can't get your mind off of it. Now my SP is with the third party. Sometimes you visualize things that you don't want to happen. And it's what it's doing is just manifesting more of it, more of the problem, more of what you don't want. So
Right.
to free yourself from someone, you remove your attention from the person. The first thing I want you to do is when you start thinking and worrying about the third person, third party, remind yourself, thoughts create. What am I manifesting right now? I'm worried. And also your mind, your creative mind, doesn't judge you and it doesn't care what it's manifesting. So whether you're worrying or you're thinking happy thoughts and feeling happy, it's all the same. They both have the same potential to manifest. So ask yourself, what am I manifesting now? Do I want it? No. So remove the one thing that gives power to that third party, and that is your attention. It's you giving them power, right?
Exactly.
And with this, with everything, everything that is a problem, the only thing that it has, the only power that it has is your attention.
Exactly. Remember that I'm gonna share the story that I had just shared with you. So I did get rid of a third party. I did manifest one with Andrew and I did get rid of it. And it was the crucial moment. Okay. So I was worried, okay, because he canceled a few times, you know, even though he canceled because he had to work. And I was like, oh, maybe there's somebody else, right? And he did tell me he had this on and off relationship. And so of course, you know, it was news. So I was kind of worried, a little bit off my mental diet. And then all of a sudden we were sitting down for dinner one day in this pub, and we're sitting there, you know, got our drinks, waiting for our food, and all of a sudden he says, so my ex-girlfriend called me today. And I was like, in that moment, right? So I had in that moment a crucial decision to make. Okay, do I sit there worrying or confront him or start freaking out or, you know, just be put on a happy face and worry about it later? Or do I get on top of my thoughts at that very moment and say, no, this isn't anything? So in that moment, I actually kind of looked at him and I was like, that's nice. And then I thought to myself, I'm way better than her. If he wanted to be with her, he already would have been. Obviously,
Exactly.
she's an ex for a reason and he wanted wants to be with me. And so I acknowledged the situation. I didn't resist it. I just said, that's cool, because we actually didn't even have a commitment at that time anyway. We were just dating. And then I went and I put my focus onto what I actually wanted to create. Now, I know some of you guys have been in that situation and you haven't caught yourself and done that, but that's okay. You can still do it later. You can still go back and revise the situation. You can still revise the situation in your head by going, no, you know what? No, they're not together, right? If you say they're not together, they're not together, right? So it's not about ignoring the existence completely of the third party. It's about ignoring it to not react, but then it's about renouncing it, identifying that, no, I don't want that in my reality. This is what I want instead. So if you start shifting your focus to you guys being together and living from that end, that's all going to fall away, just like Anna said. And remind yourself, yeah, your thoughts create. Get yourself in those moments. Everyone's pushed out, right?
Exactly. Actually, that helps me a lot when I am worried, focused on the 3D. Just reminding myself, wait a minute, my thoughts create. First of all, if I keep my focus on the problem, I'm going to manifest more of it. And second of all, my thoughts create. It means if I change my thoughts, if I start affirming instead, that is going to create too. So I can either create more of this or more of what I want. Because I always say to my clients, your mind doesn't know the difference between something real or something completely made up. It's all real in your mind, in your imagination. So you might as well, quote unquote, make up something that you want to experience. And of course, you're not making up anything because creation is finished. Everything already exists. But it's made up in the sense that it's not in your physical reality.
You're choosing to create it, right? Because everything is a bunch of waves until you actually put your focus on it. So you have an intention. So everything is a bunch of waves. Nothing is set. Everything is in every possible possibility right now. And then when you choose, so right now you say, okay, well, Jerry's going to make a comeback. So Jerry is always late. All of a sudden that reality has to collapse and he has to be late. But then as soon as you say, no, Jerry's going to be on time, the reality has to collapse into that, and then he shows up. So that's how we choose what we are going to basically experience out of creation already being done. It's already there. Everything is already there. Every possibility is already available to you. It's just what you choose to focus on with your thoughts is going to collapse into that reality. You know what the crazy thing is our thoughts go at the speed of light according to quantum physics. So that's instant, right? So it's like, well, then Amanda, how come I don't have things instantly? Well, because we don't focus on something long enough to get it, because it's happened right away, but maybe they just don't pick up the phone that second because we've got other beliefs that are preventing it, like they're working or I'm not a priority. But yet the thought, when you said, I intend for Jerry to call me, Jerry thought, oh, I should call Amanda. But then, oh yeah, I'm busy, I'm working, or whatever other beliefs that I have cloud around it, right? But everything's always instant, and always remind yourself of that. When you think of it, everything else shifts. So do yourself a favor, don't shift back. Keep persisting in that, and then finding any other contrary thoughts that come up, right? And then it's like, oh, okay, don't want that one. This is what I want instead, right? So it all comes down to a very clean mental diet, living from the end. And Anna's right. Your thoughts are real. I mean, have you ever thought something like that you're going to be late, then all of a sudden you get nervous? Your thoughts create your emotions. So that's a real tangible thing in this 3D world that happens instantly, right? Like you say something, you're worried, you offend somebody else, like, oh, you know, or you watch it, you hear someone tell a joke and you laugh, you know, so, and those things are instant. So everything manifests instantly. It's do we choose to see it instantly, and what beliefs do we have that prevent it from showing up instantly? Like a Porsche. I want a Porsche. Do you think I don't think it's going to follow the sky into my driveway. So, I mean, but as soon as I say it, and I make that statement, the whole universe is conspiring to make that happen for me instantly, right?
Yeah, I actually, that's a really good proof that imagination is real, because it physically makes you feel stuff. It changes the way you feel in your body. You can think a thought and get heavy breathing because it's horrible, or you can think a thought and feel happy. So it physically changes you, and that's a good proof that when we say imagination is real, it's true. And the reason that it doesn't always happen instantly is just like you said, that we have other thoughts that might be blocking it. Today I had a client who was telling me about her SP, and then somehow we got into talking about signs, and she wanted to know if her exes contacting her were a sign, and how that was part of her manifestation. And I explained to her that when you start affirming for something and affirmations start to work, it will manifest easier with someone else you don't have resistance to. So it's like opening the gates wherever there's no resistance. It just comes in until you work with everything that has to do with your specific person. And that is why you need to persist. And that is why we work, or I usually work like globally. When someone comes to me and says, I manifest this specific thing, I always want to know, like, what do you think of yourself? Like, what are your thoughts about yourself? Do you think you're a successful person? Do you think that you're lucky? Now I'm just real simplifying it, but if you have the idea that I'm just never lucky in relationships, but I'm manifesting this specific person, there's a contradiction.
You are so me pushed out, because I was going to go, we need to dive into self-concept here, because a big part of creating a third party is our insecurities about ourselves. And you're very much right.
Totally agree.
Our story about relationships, right? Like, oh, like a good one is like, oh, I never get the good guy, right? You know, I always get the, you know, but it's like, those are our stories, right? And those have to go too. Those are blocks, right?
Totally. Amazing. And you made me think of something else while you were talking about your success story with getting rid of the third party. Change the labeling of third party, their boyfriend, their girlfriend. Change the labeling to their ex. Whenever you think about them, the third party, it's a problem in your relationship. Catch yourself in that and say, no, it's their ex. That's the ex. Why am I thinking about the ex? He has a lot of exes. She has a lot of exes. None of them is a problem. Why should this person be a problem? They are an ex now. My specific person is with me.
Yeah.
Change the labeling, basically.
I like that, you know, and if like sometimes if it's like if you don't have proof of it, then sometimes it can just be like they're a friend or they're just a friend of a friend or whatever, right? So, but I love that. Change it to an ex, because that's what I did. I was like, well, you know what, if they wanted to be together, they would have been, and he wouldn't be here. So, you know, we really have to have that self-concept that we are the prize, we're the one. You know what, we got to take them off a pedestal, because that's usually where they are. Now, we don't take them off pedestal going, oh, he's no good, you know what? No, we take them off a pedestal by building ourselves up, right? Because we don't want to create junk with Jerry. We want Jerry to be amazing still, but we need to build ourselves up by going, we're good enough to have what we want. We're good enough to be in this relationship. We're good enough to be the priority. We're good enough to be the chosen one. You know, all these sort of intentions, right? Because those come from the end. So when you live from the end, so living and worrying about a third party is living from the end of rejection, right? Those thoughts are coming from rejection. Living from the end of being in a happy relationship is basically having the story like, no, you know what, they're an ex for a reason. They're never going to talk again because he wants to be or she wants to be with me. And that's the way that it's going to be, because I'm good enough to actually have this, and persisting in that story and not, you know, letting things show up. But if you are going to stalk social media, and it's fine, I did it, is to, when you got to have enough strength to go on there and say, no, you know what, like when you see something, like I would see pictures of Andrew, like in all these places with these people. And instead of going, who is that? Who is that? Even though I caught myself and I started saying, no, I'm going to be there with him. I'm going to meet those people. He's going to show me off to them because I'm the one, you know. And then I would also say, because honestly, like we were dating, I would be like, why would he date me if he had somebody else anyway? So he doesn't have anybody else. He wants to be with me. It's about trusting your own intentions. You created this person to show up and to be interested in you and want to be in your life. And then all of a sudden you see them take a picture with somebody else, and then don't trust yourself that you've created them liking you. And now all of a sudden, there's a third party. We got to trust ourselves. You created them. They didn't exist before you thought them into existence to show up in your reality. So because there you pushed out, right?
That is so true. I'm constantly reading Neville Goddard. I don't remember in which book he says he tends to repeat himself a lot, and that's intentionally, and it's for the same reason that we repeat affirmations, just so it sinks in, right?
Right? I don't even need to talk during this video. You've got this. Like, all my thoughts are just coming from you here, guys. Because seriously,
Mirroring
moment.
Yeah.
This is great.
And he actually said that your imagination is God. You're manifesting through God, but you are God. So when we say you need to trust in God, trust in the universe, that it brings your manifestation. In reality, Neville Goddard says you need to trust yourself, because you are that God that you are creating with and through. So trusting yourself, I think, is a really important thing when you're starting to manifest consciously.
Oh yeah, everything in our reality is a sum total of our thoughts, and I've been guilty of this. I create something I don't want,
Everyone,
or that I do want. It shows up, and then I get mad at it, or annoyed at it. And it was like, okay, you know what? I created that to begin with, and now all I'm doing is like, looking in the mirror, freaking out and reacting, because that's really what we're doing when we try to manipulate, and we react, and we try to change the 3D. That's like trying to comb your hair in the mirror. That's not where the problem is, and it only makes the problem worse. It's like putting your makeup on the mirror either. It's not going to be on you.
Exactly. So true. So true. And when you accidentally manifest things that you don't want, and you take responsibility for it, when new clients come to me and they're completely new to manifestation, and they're like, oh my God, no, did I manifest it? And I say, yes, but it's good. Wait a minute, don't panic. It's a good thing. Because when you manifested that, it just means that you have so much power that you manifest everything. So if you manifest that, you can manifest something else too. So you just change it.
Exactly. Everything, and we don't make it a big deal. And even if something shows up that we don't want, and then we remember how we created it, and then we still get that moment of magic of going, okay, you know what, I've created this. So if we don't make it a big deal, we can turn it around so incredibly quickly. Really, really good tips. Yeah.
So when you have a problem, first of all, don't label it a problem. It's just a situation, and all situations are changeable. And when you want to get rid of something, just do the opposite of what you do when you want to manifest something. So you remove your attention from it. You label it something different. Third party becomes their ex. They're somewhere else with someone else doing something else. It doesn't matter. You can make rules for yourself. Like whenever I'm thinking about that particular person, the third party or whatever it is, I'm just going to affirm self-concept in that moment. That will be my wake-up call to affirm that I am amazing, I'm chosen, I'm wanted, whatever you want to experience. As long as you don't keep your focus on and worrying about this third party, because they have no power in your reality. And when we say everyone is you pushed out, people tend to understand it as that specific person that I'm manifesting specifically is myself pushed out. But everyone is you pushed out. That third party is you pushed out. Your mom is you pushed out. Your boss is you pushed out. So you are manifesting everyone. Don't give them your power. Don't give them your attention. Don't invest your thoughts in manifesting something that you actually don't enjoy.
Exactly.
Remove your attention, and they will remove themselves.
You know what? There was this question. I'll just answer it quickly before we summarize the call. Somebody commented on, I see this comment in this question every once in a while, so everybody will probably be happy I'm answering it. But it's always like somebody would ask, you know, I hear somebody else will say something in my reality, but then it'll manifest in my reality. Why is that? Okay, so like an example of that was me and my mom were going for lunch at this diner, and it used to have a bunch of truckers there. That when I went just before me and her were going to go, there was like no truckers there. It was actually empty. I got a seat, no problem, because it was a very popular diner. And then so when she was here and we were getting ready to go there, she's like, oh, it's probably going to be full of truckers. And I was like, I agreed with her. I was like, yeah. And in that moment that I agreed with her, I now made her thought an intention in my reality. So guess what? We go to the cafe. Guess what's there? A bunch of truckers. And then we sit down and my mom says to the waitress, she's like, oh, the truckers still come here? And the waitress was like, actually, no, they haven't been here for months. Today's the first day they've been here in a long time. And I just, you know what? And I looked at her in that moment like, but it wasn't her. It wasn't her. Her intention didn't create my reality. I agreed with her statement, which in turn created it in my reality. So in those moments, if you don't want people's opinions and limiting beliefs to manifest in your reality, don't agree with them. It's okay not to agree with somebody in their limiting beliefs. You can say, well, I could have said, well, actually, I was just there a week ago and there was no truckers. And the lady said their truckers haven't been around lately. And that would have been enough for me to not manifest those truckers coming in. Do you know what I mean? Or you know, just straight up going, well, I don't think today, maybe today is going to be different. You know, I don't have to change her mind. I just, in my mind, even if I don't say anything, keep intending that it's going to be empty. We're going to get right in. We're not, you know, there's going to be no truckers there. Right. So that
just
was
not accepting it mentally. You can just affirm the opposite mentally and go, no, that's not my reality. Nope.
Exactly. Their thoughts do not create your reality unless you agree with them. So be careful with what you agree to, because, but if you got someone that's coming out with some great ideas, agree away.
Yeah. Yes.
This was such great information. So I'm just going to summarize. Remove a third party, live from the end that you want. If you do, you know, see the third party or see pictures, you know, basically relabel it, like Anna says, as an X, and then renounce it and start focusing again on what you want. Take a look at your self-concept, get yourself on that pedestal, you know, as well as, you know, shift your attention to what you actually want, and then change, you know, the stories, you know, about maybe the self-concept in relation to relationships, you know, take a look. But if you do need help finding any blocks, Anna's amazing and her schedule's seriously filling up. So we're getting a wait list here, guys, and she's very, very popular. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.